So thank you everyone for coming today. My name is Brandon Grant. I'm the marketing director here at QuoteWerks. And today we're going to be talking about utilizing the QuoteWerks Links tab, specifically using it to customize proposal and statement of works documents. So if you ever run into the issue where you have a template for your proposals or a template for your statements of work, but you're not real sure how you can implement those into QuoteWerks so that you can create kind of more customized documents for your clients, I'm going to show you how easy that is to do today and how you can utilize macros to actually pull in information from your existing documents. Before we get started, we're going to do a short PowerPoint presentation of all the features that are on the Links tab. Won't take too long, just a few slides here just to give you some information about what the Links tab can do. Then we'll do the live demo of the features, and then we'll take some questions at the end of the webinar. Like I said, if you need to leave early or if you're coming in late, we will be recording this so you have access to the recording. So if you missed something or need to go back to something, feel free. If you look at your GoToWebinar kind of like little dashboard, you'll see there's an option that says questions. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in there. I will answer questions at the end of the session today. So if you post a question and I don't immediately answer it, don't worry, I'll circle back to it. If for some reason I don't see it or I don't get to it, we'll be reaching out to anyone that posts a question just to make sure we answered everything today. So feel free to post your questions in there. And like I said, if you don't get an immediate response, we'll make sure to touch base with you later and get that question answered for you. So some of the features for the Links tab include the ability to customize documents. Probably why a lot of you are here today. You want to be able to see an easy way or a way in general to be able to send out a customized quote or proposal or statement of work document. So we're going to do that today. And that's going to be one of the biggest features of the Links tab is that you can actually utilize existing templates that you have and simply drop in some macros, and then we can create a copy of those documents attached to the Links tab in QuoteWerks, and we can deliver it through QuoteWerks. So we're going to walk through all of that today. If any of you are still using RTF documents, that's still supported as well. But for most of you, you're probably using Word documents, which is what we're going to demonstrate today. From the Links tab, you're also going to be able to convert those files into PDFs. We can also merge them into a single PDF file. We can also merge the Word document information. So basically, we'll fill in the macro information and actually keep it in Word. So if for some reason you wanted to send it out to your client as a Word document, you can absolutely do that. From the Links tab, you're also able to attach it to your CRM or PSA system. And then we can also email it from the Links tab or directly from the Deliver window, which is what we'll also demonstrate today. So just to go over some of the features that we talked about, so attaching to the CRM, this is extremely useful if you have additional documentation that you're wanting to include with this quote proposal that you want to attach to your CRM or PSA system. If you've included something else, maybe there's a RTF or an RFP document that you want to reference and you want to attach it to your CRM or PSA, you can actually right-click on the on that particular document, and there'll be an attach to CRM option that'll actually attach it to the CRM that you have integrated with in QuoteWerks. Additionally, you're going to be able to email the documents directly from the Links tab, sending out those customized documents if you like. You can also email multiple attachments. So there's a lot of functionality here that we're going to go over today, kind of as we go through these slides as well. Merging the PDF files. This is extremely useful if you have multiple PDFs, if you attach multiple documents on the Links tab and you want to send them out as a single PDF file, we'll actually merge them. You can actually do this in two places. We can do it through the Deliver window, where we'll just merge all the PDF files together into that single PDF file, or if for some reason you want to email it directly from the Links tab, you don't want to have to go through the Deliver window, you can actually right-click on those documents and merge them directly from here as well. Additionally, this is where you'll be able to merge your Word documents. Merging the Word documents is where basically QuoteWerks will populate your Word documents with the information. So we're going to utilize macros to actually pull in information. I'll show you how that works today as well. Auto links for the CRM's PSAs. If any of you are working with like Autotask, Salesforce, ConnectWise, MSCRM, there's a few of the other ones. at Goldmine, they'll actually be able to see automatically generated links. Depending on which CRM or PSA system you're using, depends on which links are available to you, but you'll actually be able to see quick links basically back to that system. So very useful if you want to quickly find that opportunity that you just created for this particular document, or just see the contact that you pulled in the sold to ship to. We have those kind of quick links for you. As always, there's a ton of resources on the website, so if you have questions or need assistance, always feel free to give us a call, send us an email. We'll be happy to review your information, answer any questions you may have. We have a ton of videos on the website, so feel free to check those out so you can view those at your convenience. We also have the help file available on the website as well. That's extremely useful because that contains all the features and functionality of QuoteWerks. So if you're looking for a specific feature, just have a question, it's a great place to start. There's a search functionality, so you can search by like keyword, kind of find out what you're looking for. Obviously, the live webinars we have, and also any recorded webinars that we've done in the past, will be available on the website. There's also a users forum, so if you want to kind of interact or get other users' take on kind of how to do something in QuoteWerks, that's a great resource to use as well. And then finally, social media is a great place to keep up with kind of what we're doing, go to a lot of events. So if you're at events, definitely come by, say hi. It's a great place to ask questions, kind of see what's new. We also post kind of what's going on. We do some trainings around the country, so check those out. We're at a lot of ASCII events. We're going to be at Datto here in a couple months. So just keep that in mind. Those are always great places to get more information about QuoteWerks and look for assistance. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to QuoteWerks. So I went ahead and started with an existing document. So any document that you create in QuoteWerks is going to already have a list of your products and services, like mine does. And then when you click on the Links tab, you'll see we have two sections on the Links tab. We have the linked resources on the left-hand side, and this is what's going to say the auto links on the right-hand side. Now, like I said, depending on what CRM or PSA system you're integrating with, depends on what you'll have here. I have mine integrated with Autotask right now, so that's what you're going to see, is that I have quick links to the opportunity in Autotask and also my contacts in Autotask that are on this particular document. So it makes it really easy to kind of go back and forth between them. On the Links tab, I have a few documents in here that I just wanted to talk about. So we're just going to go kind of quickly over these icons up at the top. So starting from left to right, we have our Create New Linked File Using Template button. So this orange button here. And what this would do, this is where you will actually load from an existing template. And I'm going to come back to this where I actually walk through this. But basically, when you want to create a customized document, such as a customized proposal, statement of work document, this is where you can use this functionality, because this will actually make a copy of your template and then attach it here in this linked resources. This allows you to make changes to this document here and not actually adjust your template. So if you have maybe some service options that are only available with certain customers and not others, but you want to leave it in the template so you can remove it, you'll be able to do that. So you'll be able to fully customize these documents. It's a little different than when you're in the Deliver window and you're actually editing the templates, the layouts in QuoteWerks. When you modify those are changed permanently. Here, they're only changed specifically on this document. Now, the linked resource is very important to note, is only going to support Word and RTF files for macro documents. So if you want to send out documents to your customers that use macros, they're only going to be Word or RTF documents. You can't actually put a QuoteWerks layout on here and use that. It'll just be the Word and RTF file. So it's an important distinction to make. But you'll see why here in just a minute while we do that. The green button is just going to be the edit. So if you need to edit the link, if you need to modify the description for it, you can easily change that. Additionally, if you want to remove a link, you can highlight your link and just click on the remove link. This doesn't delete the file or anything like that. It's simply going to remove the shortcut that is here. So that's really all these are shortcuts to the actual items or documents themselves. And the last option is where you can add additional documentation. So if for this document, maybe you have like an Excel sheet you want to send to the client, or a specific PDF that you want to attach, you're not really sure how to do that in QuoteWerks, this is a great place to go is you can actually go to this links tab and you can attach it here just by clicking on the little plus sign, or just click on the drop down and you can choose what you want to add. You can see there's an option that says add a folder link, which is what I did here. And if you click on that, that'll actually bring you to that folder in QuoteWerks. So you can actually see what that, it'll open up your the Windows Explorer so you can see that that was available in QuoteWerks. So we'll go through a couple of these because they're pretty easy to add. So the first one, if we wanted to do a folder link, so let's go ahead and just remove this one here. So if I wanted to add a link back to a folder, maybe you have a folder on your network that a lot of you share documents in. So instead of having to navigate to that folder every time you want to access some of the files, you can just create a shortcut here on this links tab. So we'll click on add folder link, and then you basically just choose the folder that you want to include. So I chose my folder, and then you can see here, and when you double click on it, it'll open up Windows Explorer for you so you can go right to that folder, and then you can pull any of the files in here that you need. Drag and drop is supported, so if you do have a file in here that you want to use, you can actually just drag and drop it in here, and we'll attach it for you. Now, when we attach it, you'll actually be prompted if you want to link directly to the selected file or copy this selected file to the centralized storage and link to that file. Centralized storage is going to be the resources folder in QuoteWerks. So I'm going to show you where that is here in just a minute. But the resources folder is kind of like where a lot of the documents are stored in QuoteWerks specifically for the links tab. This makes it easy to keep everything backed up. So if you have QuoteWerks on your network somewhere and you want to attach a file that's on, let's say, your desktop, but you want other users to have access to it, you want to use this second selection, because what this will do is actually make a copy of that file that you're linking to and save it in the resources folder in QuoteWerks. That way, anyone who opens up this document would have access to it. So right now, all the files I have in there are linked to my C drive. So that means only me, since I'm the only one who has access to my C drive, would be able to view these files. But if I copy it to the resources folder, now it's in my resources folder. Now that anyone that has access to QuoteWerks would be able to view this document, have access to that document. So it's a really easy way to kind of make it easy to quickly update and share files on specific installations. And you can pick and choose. So if you just want to link to the existing file so it stays on your desktop or where you have it stored locally, that's fine as well. But it's a nice little feature to be able to just copy that file to a central location so you don't have to move it manually and then link to it. So that's what the drag and drop will do. Adding the file link will do the exact same thing. So if I wanted to select this file and add it there, it's going to bring up the same prompt as well. And then you see if I just choose to link to the existing file, it's just going to stay where it is stored currently. So, okay. So now that we've linked quite a few of the files there, one thing to mention is that anything that you link here on the linked resources can be delivered to the client through the Deliver window. So if we click on the Deliver window and you go all the way to your Links tab here up at the top, and I'll wait for a few of you to catch up here on my, make sure everyone can see my screen here. So once you've clicked on the Deliver window and then you click on the Links tab all the way to the right, this will show you a list of all the files that are on the Linked Resources tab. You'll notice there's one missing, and that's going to be the folder, because we're just linking to that folder location. We're not actually pulling all the files in from the folder. So we're just going to list the files here, and then you can select which files you want to include in your document. So if you have any files that you've attached and you want to include them, just need to go to the Links tab. This gives you a lot of flexibility because you can actually choose which files are going to be important for you, which ones should be client-facing, which ones are just for internal. So you can make the distinction here. Anything that you don't want to include, simply uncheck it, and it won't be included in the quota proposal that you send over to the document. Now, anything that is in a PDF document or is a Word document, so a doc or docx or PDF, that will automatically be converted to a PDF for you and merged into a single PDF file by default. Now, there is an option to have it not merge into that single PDF, but I think for probably 90% of you, you usually want it all sent as a single document that we send to the client. So anything that is a PDF or Word document will convert to a PDF automatically for you, and send it to the client as that single PDF file that we deliver to the client. So for instance, if I wanted to select this statement of work file and preview it, we'll actually preview everything. And we'll go to our preview here. And you can see, if we go to the last page, down at the bottom, maybe a little hard to see, but you can see it says page 8 of 8 or 8 of 8. And this is because it is an 8-page document. It has merged everything into that single document. So that is going to be delivered to the client when we go to email it as that single PDF file. So we're merging all that the PDF into that single file. Now it works the same way if you're using Quote Valet. When you upload it to Quote Valet, it's going to work the exact same way, where it'll merge all that information into that single PDF. So you can see here where you can view that PDF, and it's going to be that single PDF file that we send out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear just a couple of these out of here so that we can just kind of start with a blank slate here. So for a lot of you, you probably run into the option or have had it happen in the past where you needed to deliver to the client a customized version of your quota proposal, or maybe you have like a statement of work that you wanted to include with your quota proposal, and you're having to create that document in a separate location, get the quote ready in QuoteWerks, and then we're getting ready to send it to the customer. You have to open up the email window and attach it manually. So what you can do with the Links tab is actually attach it through the Links tab and then send everything through QuoteWerks, and it'll save you a lot of time. So the first thing I want to mention is this is to be most effective, this is going to be template driven. So that means that you should already have a template of the document that you're trying to attach. So for instance, if I wanted to do a statement of work document, I want to have a statement of work document already created, something that you're already using, and then I can go into that and actually add QuoteWerks macros. So if I want to attach a new template here, I'll choose my statement of work, and we'll go ahead and we'll give it a name, and we'll just say it's that's our quote number, and we'll just call it our SOW. And then this checkbox for open after saving will obviously just open it so we can make any modifications we need to. You can also change the location of where it's going to be saved. I have mine defaulted to the resources folder. That's what I would recommend for most of you. That way it's in that QuoteWerks directory and it's always being backed up if your files are, or your installation is on the server. So I would highly recommend having that listed there. So in this case, I'll go ahead and hit OK. And this will open up Microsoft Word so we can view this document. And what you can see is a customized or a statement of work template, which has different and various macros in them. So all these macros are available in Chapter 14 of the help file. If you're unsure where the help file is, just click in your QuoteWerks installation, go to Help, and then QuoteWerks Help, and that'll actually launch the help file. So in this help file, we have our various macros. So in this case, we have the company, the document date, the sales rep full name, and then we have some other information here as well as like the sold to company, the document name. And then you can see here we have these other fields that we could fill in manually. You could even put macros in here if you wanted to. So like the begin date, we have contract dates on the sale info tab. So you could put in a macro for the contract start date and for the contract end date. You can type information in here manually. The great thing is that because it's been attached as a separate template or as a copy of the template on this Links tab, I'm free to make any changes to this specific document, and this is the document I'm changing. I'm not actually changing the default template. So I can make as many modifications to this particular document as I need. So like I said, we'll just go through. I can list my assumptions, anything that's in there that we need to adjust. If we need to add any additional terms and conditions, I can add those in here. I can make any changes. So it provides a lot of flexibility for you, and you can have QuoteWerks preload a lot of the information from the document. Additionally, you can brand this similar to your, your document that you have in QuoteWerks already. So you can add your logo. You can have headers and footers and change the fonts and colors and make everything match. So when we send it out to the client, it's going to look like a seamless document. So in our case, we have our document here. And if we wanted to adjust anything, we could. Now, where do you set this up? Like, how, okay, I have a statement of work template. I want to add it to QuoteWerks. How do I do that? So it's going to be very simple. You need to navigate to where QuoteWerks is installed on your network. And in my case, I have mine stored locally since it's my training installation. But in your QuoteWerks directory, you'll see a folder called Resources. And if you double click on the Resources folder, inside that Resources folder, there's a subfolder called Templates. And that's where you'll drop the template file. So here I have my statement of work. I have a proposal document. I have another proposal document. You could have a quote document in here. You could have any type of documents you want in here. Now, you can also have PDF documents in here. The only thing is that PDFs, once they become a PDF in QuoteWerks, or if they're already a PDF when they're added to QuoteWerks, you're not able to modify them and add like macros or anything like that. So if you want to be able to customize the document and make changes, it needs to be as a Word document. Like I said, we also support RTFs. Don't know that anyone still uses them, but it's legacy functionality that we leave in there. So if you want to use it, you can. But we recommend having them as Word documents, and then you can simply attach them kind of as you need. So any type of template will be saved in this resources and then template subfolder so that you'll always have access to that. And then QuoteWerks, when we are, in this case, attaching the new statement of work for this particular document, we're going to copy it over. So we're actually going to make a copy of this and attach it here automatically for you. Okay. So same thing would happen if we are using the proposal document. So if I wanted to attach a proposal document, I can give my document a name, and we'll just call it proposal. And then again, we'll open it after saving. And very similar, just our proposal document has a lot of these macros and this information filled in already, so I can make any changes. So if we're looking in here and we know the last, the scope of work is going to be separate, so I'm going to pull that out. We're going to pull out some of these. We're just going to shorten this. If you want to change anything, you can. You can see, again, it's going to be all macro-based, and then all I have to do is simply hit save. So any changes that I've made, simply just hit save, and it'll save those changes. It'll pull in some of the information in for you as well. So like has my company's information in here already. And then if I wanted to adjust anything else, I can go through and make any of those adjustments. So everything looks good, so I have it attached here. Now, anything that's on here, you can make changes to, and perhaps you need to send multiple revisions. So there's a couple different ways you want to do this, but this is the way we typically recommend. So if you're ready, you've made your customizations to this document. Let's go into our statement of work document here, and actually here. We'll go through the right-click menu first. So once you've attached a document in your Links tab, you have a few different options. The first one is going to be to view or modify the linked resource. So if you want to make changes to this particular document, simply right-click on it and choose View, Modify, Linked Resource. And then it'll open up the file, and you can make changes. Now, you're not changing the template. You're changing what's been attached here. So just to be clear, you're changing the copy of the template, so you can make as many adjustments to this, as many customizations as you'd like. Additionally, you have the option to edit the link. The link is what this is called, essentially. If you want to put a specific description, instead of it having the entire link for it, if you want to call it, instead we'll just call it our SOW. We can call it that instead, just to simplify it. That's fine as well. Remove link, if you just want to remove it, you can do that as well. So you'll see the next two options are merge Word document and then save new copy and merge Word document. Now we always recommend, for the most part, using the save new copy and merge Word document. The reason we recommend using this is that once you merge the information from QuoteWerks into the Word document, there's not a way to undo it. So if you are creating a statement of work like we are here and we merge this, not a way for us to undo the merge if the client decides they don't need something or they do need something or we forgot to include something or we need to adjust anything. We're not able to run a remerge because the macros have already been merged in. So we always recommend doing save a new copy and then merging it. That way you'll always have the original. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to click on save new copy and merge Word document. And we'll just call this our merged version. And then hit OK. and then it'll tell you that all the macros have been replaced, and then we can view the file. So if we go here, you'll see that we have merged in our information, have our date, all our information that we had put in here has now been merged into the file. Now, if the client came back to me and said, hey, we want to, maybe I have an assumption here that I need to remove or update, I don't have a way to make that change, or if they wanted to change a product or service and I was pulling the products and services in here, don't have a way to undo that. So that's why we always do the save copy, because that way we always have the original. So this is the merge one. So I can go ahead and just edit this one just for simplicity. So I know I have that one, and we're just going to move it there. So I have my original statement of work and then my merge one. So if I right-click and do View Modify Link Resource, you'll see I have a copy of the non-merged one available. So if I need to adjust it, maybe I put in the wrong company name. Maybe it's something as simple as that, and I need to re-merge this. I'll have that option. For most likely, for the statement of work, you probably don't have too many products and services information in there, but if you do, you have the option to adjust it. Now, where that can be really useful is if you have your proposal document. So my proposal document, if I do Save New Copy and Merge Word, and again, we're just going to call it Merged. Okay. It's going to merge in all my information. Again, if this information, something I didn't save properly, or if we scroll down to where we have our products and services, so we have a list of our items here. If the client decided they didn't want an item, or they did want an item, or something was incorrectly done, I don't have, if I just merged it instead of doing the Save New Copy and Word merge, I wouldn't have a way to undo that. So best practices for that, again, is always going to be go ahead and right-click and do Save New Copy and Merge. Now, if you're 100% sure that they're not going to need any changes, you're going to merge it, that's fine. But just be aware that any other changes as far as macros are concerned, you won't be able to use the macros on that document any longer. So that's why we always recommend just merging it. And if you need to make multiple copies, that's fine. That's why we give you the option to remove a link. So if you say, oh, I messed up on something, or I just need to change something, if you don't want to keep that link, that document linked here, you can always just remove the link, and it will no longer exist on the Links tab. The file still exists in the Resources folder, so if we want to grab it, we can, but we can at least remove the link so it's a little cleaner when we're working on the Links tab here. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is if you right-click, you'll see there's an option to save it as a PDF file. So any Word document that you have in here, or RTFs, you can actually save as a PDF. This is, again, just a feature that you can use. You don't actually have to use. When we get ready to deliver this document to the client, when we attach it through the deliver window, we'll actually merge it to a PDF for you. So we'll actually convert it automatically to a PDF. So it saves you a step instead of having to do this. But if you maybe you created this statement of work document or this proposal document, you just wanted to send this, nothing else, through the deliver window, then we do give you the option to save it as a PDF here. And then you can have it on the document, or maybe you're preparing the document for someone else in your organization, and you don't want them to be able to change it or make adjustments to it. You can merge it as a PDF here, and then just tell them that they're good to send it out. So we give you the option to save it as a PDF and even to email it from here. But for most of you, I do recommend that once you've made the changes to the document and you merge the macros in from QuoteWerks into Word, go ahead and just click on Deliver window, get in that habit of sending it from the Links tab here and saying, okay, let's go ahead and attach that file and send it from here. So that would be the recommendation that I would make. So to show you what it would kind of look like, we're going to go ahead and just kind of start from scratch here, so we can kind of walk through what the process would actually look like. So we build our document in QuoteWerks. We have our items on there. We have our client select on our sold to ship to tab. You set everything on the sale info tab. Same thing for notes, custom if you're using that, and then you get to the links tab. So this is where you need to attach that additional documentation, perhaps that statement of work document. So this is where we can include, okay, let's go ahead and load our statement of work template, and let's give it a name. So we're going to call this our SOW new, say 1, and it'll load up our document. So it loads it up in Word with our macros still intact, so we can change anything. If we want to adjust the information here and say, please see quote for item rates for labor, or whatever type of notes you want to put in there. Whatever changes you want to make, you can change. Really, the only thing you don't want to adjust is anything that's a macro. That information is going to be filled in automatically, but anything else can be adjusted. If you want to drop in like your client's logo, you can drop it in here instead of having yours. It's up to you kind of how you want to handle that, whatever changes you want to make here. Like I said, there's a full list of all the macros available in Chapter 14. But if you look at some of our templates that come with QuoteWerks and that are included online, we do include a lot of this information for you already, so you can utilize this functionality. So we'll go ahead and we'll hit save. So it saved my changes. Let me go ahead and close out of there. And then my next step is I want to go ahead and do save, new copy, and merge Word document. I could just merge it, but then I lose any changes if the customer comes back and asks me to make adjustments. So I want to do save new copy and merge Word document. And we'll call this new one merged, and then hit OK. And then it gives you the option if you want to view the file, or you can also copy the name, which is useful if you need to send this to someone else in your organization. Maybe you need to send them a shortcut to it. You can do that. You can also view the folder in which it's been saved. So if you saved a couple other files in there, you want to see that folder, you can do that. In our case, I'm just going to choose View File. And again, just like before, it merges in our data information, and that appears. So there's our company that we're selling to. There's our date, who's presented by, client name, project name, all that information, all the macros that we had pulled in there. Those will all be set in. In this case, we have just kind of like a sign-off page in there as well. So everything looks good. If I need to make any other adjustments, I can. Anything that's text-related, I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of here. Everything looks good. So now I'm ready to actually send this to the customer. So what I want to do is I want to include this as part of my typical quota proposal document that we send out. So in this case, this is a statement of work document. So in this case, I'm going to click on Deliver. I'll select my cover page, which has already been defaulted for me. For any of you that are not aware of the how to default a cover page, simply select your cover page from the drop-down and then click on the little star icon, and it'll automatically be defaulted and selected for you every time you start a new document in QuoteWerks. My next option is going to be my layout here, so let's go ahead and select my layout. So I'll go ahead and check the box for layout, and then we'll include a summary page. And then if we go to the links tab here, we're going to choose the merged file. So I want the one that's actually been merged. You can see here, as you make your selections, they'll always appear here on the right-hand side. And then, as always, we always recommend once you've made your selections, go ahead and preview it, even if you are using Quote Valet. Just makes things a little easier to kind of view and make sure that everything is properly set up. So we have our cover page here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so it's a little larger for you guys so you can see. So we have our cover page included, and with our cover page have some information in there. So then we have our line item breakdown. So our line item with our product pictures and descriptions here, and then a total on the last page of our line item breakdown. And then we also have a summary page here. So just saying what's kind of, what's going to be recurring, what's going to be initial investment, that type of thing. And then we have our statement of work. So this is, again, included as part of the original document. And if you look down here at the bottom, it actually says 6 of 9. So it's numbering the entire document, not just the individual kind of pieces. So even though in QuoteWerks you're building this as multiple pieces as a separate process, everything is going to be merged in as a single document. So that way, we're delivering this single PDF file, and to the client, they're not going to know that you were taking essentially 3 different files. In this case, a cover page, actually 4 different files, two layout files, and then we're attaching a statement of work separately. But then we sent it all as one document. And this is where you can see a lot of time-saving functionalities, because instead of you having to build this statement of work outside of QuoteWerks, all we're doing for you is basically linking to that existing file, making a copy, and then letting you make any changes. And then additionally, when you do that, you're able to take advantage of the macros that are in there. We'll pull the information in, and then we can send this out as a single PDF file document that we send to the client. So that would be how you can do any type of kind of like additional documentation. So if you are going to be using statement of works, if you have anything else that you want to include, we can attach it as well. But this is how you would kind of do like the statement of work documents. We do have an example that comes with QuoteWerks that you can utilize. If you have your own, it's very easy. Like I said, just drop it in that resources folder and then the subfolder of templates, and that you'll have access to it there. Now, for those of you that need to create customized proposals, you say, yeah, I have a proposal document that I send out, but I need to be able to make a lot of adjustments to it from my template. Then this functionality is going to be pretty similar. We're just going to skip a couple of the other steps. So I'll show you what that would look like. So again, in QuoteWerks, you would build out your document just like you did before. Select your products and services, select your contacts, sale info, tab notes, custom, all that information. In this case, let's go ahead and start just, again, fresh. But in this case, you would load your proposal document. So let's go ahead and just load the one I have in here. And we'll just call this our webinar prop. And then hit OK. And that'll open up our proposal document. Now, the reason we check that box automatically for you to view the file and to open it is so that you can make any changes that you need to. So if you want to make an adjustment, something you can right off the bat instead of having to find the file and open it. So this one has a lot of macros in it. And you can see kind of all the information that's in there. So if you need to make any adjustments, if you want to update the About Us, if you have deliverables, I believe this one has an agreement kind of at the end. Yeah, this one has an agreement. So maybe there's something in your agreement at one of these last pages here that's not going to apply to this client, so you need to pull it out. Whatever the issue is with your proposal document, in this case it's 16 pages, you can choose exactly what to include and what not to include for this particular customer that you're working with, this particular document that you are creating. So you'd make it whatever adjustments that you need, and you can close out of it, and then it'll be listed here on your linked resources tab. And again, just like the statement of work, the process is going to be the same, is that once you've made those adjustments, those customizations that you need to, you can simply right-click on this option and then choose Save New Copy and Merge Word Document. Again, that's the process we want to really kind of make sure that you understand that it's going to be very important, because this is what's going to make sure that you still have that original copy. So if you need to go back to, the customer comes back to you and asks you to make changes, you'll still have that original copy available. So let's go ahead and do Save New Copy and Merge it. And just like the other one, we'll just call this Merged at the end, and then hit OK. And then it'll tell you QuoteWerks macros have been replaced in the Word document. We can view the file, and you can see all the macros that have been in there. So dates, all that information is in here. This particular layout is available for users. So even if you're not using proposals, if you're going to use statement of works or other kinds of documents, this is a great document to kind of utilize as a tool, because it does have a lot of the macros in there already for you. So you can just change the formatting for them. For those of you that are not sure where this file is, or you don't have it installed, if you go to the QuoteWerks website and under Support, go to Download Area. So Support and then Download Area. And then click on the Layouts page. And just scroll all the way to the bottom. So all the way to the bottom, you'll see there's a Word-based cloud proposal template. And I like that one the best just because it has a lot of the macros already in there. A couple of the other ones have some macros in there, but this one has a lot of macros in there that you can use. So you can just kind of copy and paste them when you're editing and customizing your own template. So that's what I would recommend doing. So that's a good place to start. So even if you're going to use the statement of work document, or you have your own already, I would download this file. That way you can at least have the macros quickly available. You can also get them from the help file as well. All right, so everything's been merged in here, and we left it as a Word document for you so you can make changes to it if you need to. If you want to add additional, commentary or anything like that, we can make those changes so you still have that ability to do so. Since this is a full document, full merged document, when we go to deliver it, I would actually deselect all of these, and then when I go to the links tab, I can just choose just to send out my Word merged document. So I don't actually have to send out anything else. I don't have to use the cover page, the layout, the literature functionality, the spec sheets. I don't have to use any of that if I don't want to. I can just send out this customized proposal to my customer at this point. So that's going to be kind of the difference between the statement of work and the proposal here, is that in this case you're creating a customized proposal specifically for this customer. You're probably not going to use any of the default information. You might have literature like terms and conditions that you want to attach, or documentation like that, but for the most part you can go directly through here through the links tab. The other reason we recommend going through the deliver window is that if you're using Quote Valet, you don't have access to Quote Valet from the links tab here just by clicking on email. So if you right click in the links, linked resources, and you click email, it's just going to bring up the email window and let you send it. For those of you that are using Quote Valet, you need to be able to send it via Quote Valet, so you have to come through the deliver window anyway. So kind of want to push you in that direction because that's where it gives you a lot more functionality and flexibility for making any adjustments and changing them here. All right. So I saw a couple questions that are pretty quick answers, so I'm going to answer those. One of them was actually asking if you can use Google Doc. And Ed basically, yeah, as long as your document is a docx, so the doc doc or doc docx, it should work. I'm not familiar if that's been tested, but we're just looking at the file type. So I would assume if your default file type to open docx's is Google Docs, it should work. But you should be able to test that. But yeah, if you you can test it, it should work, is my understanding. But yeah, I would just double check. Okay, so we have our proposal document here. If you want to convert this to a PDF from here, you can. Like I said, when we go through the deliver window, that's the other advantage, is that we're automatically going to convert it to a PDF for you. So if we preview this, it's going to look the exact same way as if we had manually converted to an email. And then when we do the email, you'll see we save it out as a PDF. So no matter what, we're going to save it out as a PDF for you. Again, so just kind of save you some clicks instead of having to go through the email, save as PDF, and then send it out. Anything that you attach here, like I said, if you have another PDF or another Word document, we'll merge them into those PDF files. So there's a couple settings that I wanted to mention for this that can be important. One of them is going to be the under the miscellaneous tab is going to be your merging of these files. So if for some reason you don't want to merge your file links, so basically anything that's under the links tab, into that single PDF file, if you say, you know what, we know it's a statement of work document, and we do actually want it to come over as a separate document from the quote or proposal document that we're sending through QuoteWerks, or you're going to create a proposal and a statement of work. You want them to be two separate files that the client receives. Then you can uncheck this link or this option here that says merge file links with primary quote PDF. Now this is a user preference. So this is done under Tools, My Preferences, and then click on the Miscellaneous tab. And then under the Miscellaneous tab, click on the Printing tab. Now if you don't have a printing tab, it just means you're running version 5.1 or earlier, because in version 5.2 is when we added that, I believe. But you still should see that functionality. If you don't see that link or that option, you're just on an older version, and if you upgrade, you'll have that functionality there, that option. So that's one of the settings I wanted to mention about the File Links tab here, so that you can actually choose whether or not you want to send these as separate files. The other option is actually a site-wide setting, and if we go to Tools, Options, and we go to our Miscellaneous tab under the Tools Options, you'll see there is an option that says linked resource file. And this is the default document name. So when we are attaching that new file, whether you're loading from a template or you're just copying a file in, the default file that we're using when we're creating as using as a template is going to be automatically the document name and then the file base name. And the file base name is just what is the file called right now? Is it called new proposal template? Then that's what it's going to be. It would be the document number and the new proposal template. Next to it, you'll see there's a list of macros that we could choose from. So if you want to choose which macros to include in the file name, you can do that. So this is a site-wide setting, so you do have to have master rights in QuoteWerks or be an admin user in QuoteWerks in order to make that change, and that's going to change it for everybody. So that's going to be the default setting for everyone in the system, so just keep that in mind if you go that route. But this is where you can actually change what the linked resource file name is going to be, because when we send it out to the client, they are going to see that. So you'll see here, mine has the document number, and then in this case, the document name as well, and then also what the file name is. So just keep that in mind, but that's where you can set that default for those particular files. All right. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, just to make sure that this is clear, is how you can save your files as a QuoteWerks template. So basically, okay, I have my Word document already. How can I save a Word document as a QuoteWerks template? So I'm just going to open this one here. Actually, let's open the one that's not merged. So let's pretend this is our template here. I've taken all the time to put in my macros. Now I want to save this to use as a template. Like I said before, just need to save it in that resources subfolder of the QuoteWerks directory, and then the template subfolder of the resources folder. So we would simply do File, Save As, in this case Word document, and we would navigate to where QuoteWerks is installed and go to Resources, and then that subfolder of templates, and then you would just put in what you want your template name to be. So in this case, if I called it, we'll just do our webinar template. That would be the name of the template, and that would be the file-based name. So that's what template's going to be called and what everyone's going to see when they go to use this file. So if I hit save, and then we can close out of there, and then let's just go ahead and remove this again just to make things a little clearer. When we click on our drop-down, I may need to refresh this. Yeah, let's go ahead and do. So we'll see here under our drop-down, we have our new webinar template. So this is actually going to load from that file. So very easy to save your files as a template, so you can use them. There is no limit on how many templates you create, but obviously, if you create too many, it's going to be hard to navigate. So, we recommend just having, maybe just a handful in there. Unfortunately, the folders, there is no folder system for it, so you're not able to create multiple folders. So you may just need to get a little creative with your naming convention if you have, 30 different customized templates that you utilize. You might just have to figure something out, but hopefully most of your templates are fairly, they are templates. So this provides you just to customize the information. You're not really using the links tab to customize the design of it. It's more just the information, the content of the particular document that we're doing. So there's more information on the links tab. There's a whole section of it in the help file. So if you do have additional questions about that, that's definitely available. We're getting right up to about an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking some questions here. And then like I said, we'll post this on the website. So if any of you didn't get your question answered, or you just have additional questions, or you came in late, you'll be able to see everything from start to finish. So let's go ahead and go through a few of the questions here. I'm just going to kind of start at the top. Let's see. All right, so Devin asked, is there a way to have the proposal signed by the client electronically? Devin, you just need to use Quote Valet. That's actually exactly what Quote Valet is for, where the client can sign off on the document electronically. We do offer free trials, so if you want to test it out, definitely feel free. Let us know. We'd be happy to set you up with a trial for it. So Ron has a good question. Ron asked, can a web link be added as a default that is included for all proposals? So Ron, you could default a web link here. We actually didn't talk about that, but if you used add a web link here, you can absolutely have that. The only way you can have it defaulted is if you save this document as a template in QuoteWerks. So a little different because we're talking about going to the File menu and then Save as Template. So this quote that I created, if I did File, Save as Template, anything that's on the Links tab would be included as a template. So that's one way that you can kind of default the web link. Probably the only way that you can really default it on there. There might be something on the back end that you could possibly do through support. You could reach out to them, but utilizing the template, that would be the easiest way. Ron, the web links won't appear in the proposal document. They're just for your reference only. Yeah, they're just going to be reference points. If you have web links that you want to include it with your quota proposal, you'll just need to put them in that document itself. James, you should be able to change the file name just by going to that Tools Options menu that I talked about. That should be able to change the file name length. Zach, the recording probably won't go out today. We'll get it out as soon as possible. But yeah, I don't know that we'll be able to get it out today. All right. So Steven's asking, Quote Valet creates numerous copies in the resources folder based on the date and time, and asking basically, is this normal? Should I clean it up? Can you? Because his example is basically that you create 20 revisions, it's going to have 20 different copies of it. Yeah, that's completely normal. That's fine if you want to remove them. It doesn't hurt anything. It's just a copy of the PDF, because when we upload the PDF to Quote Valet, we actually have to store it locally somewhere first in order for us to upload it to Quote Valet. So that's essentially what's going on there. So if you don't need it and you want to remove them, you can absolutely do that. There won't be any issue there with that. Wayne asked a good question, said, where might you be able to find a library of the data fields, so basically the macros? The macro fields are available in Chapter 14 of the help file. So if you go to the help file, Chapter 14, that will provide you a list of all the macros that are available. Brent, save new copy and merge grayed out. Typically, he's asking why that's grayed out. That would typically be grayed out if you have a PDF file in there. You can't merge from a PDF file. Same thing with the save new copy. If you've already merged the file, that would be the other reason. So if it says if you merged a Word file already, then you wouldn't be able to save a copy and merge it because it's already been merged. So that's the other reason that it would be grayed out. David, so David asked if there's a macro that allows you to update the, in his case, statement of work with the quantity of an item. So basically, 10 widgets selected in the quote updates the statement of work to install 10 widgets. Yeah, David, you could put a macro in there that would change the quantity for a specific item type. It's a little complicated. I definitely have to defer to tech support, but yeah, there is something that you could do for that. All right, I see there's quite a few questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. So for all of you that are still here, thank you for attending today. If you do have additional questions, definitely let us know. For those of you that are still hanging around and did post a question, I'm going to go through some more of these questions and answer them, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. So again, thank you for everyone that's still here, and we'll continue answering questions offline here in just a moment.